Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 18th, 2025, and what you're witnessing is complete psychological capitulation. Many people in crypto are giving up altogether. I'm not just talking about individuals, I'm talking about institutions, hedge funds, people saying, you know what, it was a good run. It was fine. I should have seen the signs. I should have been in gold. I should have been in stocks. I feel like an idiot. This is exactly what you see at the bottom. This is exactly what you see at the beginning of the disbelief rally. I'm referring to the psychology of psychology of the market, Wall Street cheat sheet, right? The psychological component to different market sequences. This is exactly what you see at bottoms. And let me say this plainly. You're witnessing here and now the beginning of cryptocurrency's bull run. The last time we had a similar bull run was 10 years ago. It's not an exaggeration. Yes, certain things went up. Certain assets did have bull runs fewer than 10 years ago. That is true. But what I'm talking about is a wide scale, across the board bull market that we're about to see. And still, not everything will participate. Okay, so this is what you have to figure out. This is a long intro, but I really want you to understand. This is what you have to figure out. Even though we're witnessing the beginning of the cryptocurrency bull market, and it's going to be spearheaded by altcoins. Not every altcoin is going to spearhead the cryptocurrency bull market of 2025, 2026. Not everyone. You have to figure out which ones. And there's going to be a lot of assets, popular assets, that won't even participate at all. And then others that are towards the end of their bear markets. This is where we're at. Many are at the end of their bear markets. Many more are starting their bull markets after 1,600 days of down and sideways price action. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what Bitcoin's doing on the small time frame. I want to talk about altcoins and what we should expect in the coming days. If that all sounds interesting to you, then watch it till the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get into it. All right, Bitcoin on the hourly. I was talking last time about Bitcoin likely being in a range like this. And I said, I'm seeing a bounce back up to 116. It's likely that we retrace to 116. But after that, I'm seeing a retracement, a massive retracement, and I told you about that. My target in that retracement is 90K. Many reasons, okay? And then after I published the episode, Bitcoin went sideways, then it went down, and then it went sideways, and it went down some more. And I was like, ooh, guess I was wrong. And I did say that is small time frame analysis. I wouldn't bet the farm on it. So it's not that, it's not that solid, but it's my best guess based off of what was happening. But when Bitcoin retraced all the way down to around 103, 104, I was like, okay, this is the next likely scenario on the small time frames. And here it is. We came down on October 10th in an impulsive move. But I said, you know what? I don't think that's pure impulse. Reason being, in pure impulse, there's a time relationship between that impulse and the retracement. And at the time, we'd already broken that. Any such hope of having this and the counter correction being related, if that's true, then you're dealing with a corrective impulse, i.e. a zigzag. A zigzag in Elliott wave analysis is a 5-3-5 corrective wave. You have 5 waves down, 5 waves, or 3 waves up, and 5 waves down. Here it is. 5 waves down, 3 waves up, and 5 waves down. Okay, and the quality of the 3 waves, the time component, the 3 waves have no relationship in time from the 5 waves down. So there is no temporal relationship between the 5 waves down and the 3 waves up. Number one. Although in a zigzag, what you do see is a limit to the 3 waves, the retracement. The 3-wave retracement only goes as high as 62%. So the 618 is where we expect the 3 waves to end up, which is exactly what we got. We had resistance at the 618 of this drop, which also, if you're paying attention, is the midline of this 90-day channel, this channel that Bitcoin's been in for 90 days. So these 3 waves are likely playing out, and any corrective pattern has 3 waves. Anytime you see 1, 2, expect a third. Corrective patterns come in flavors of 3, we say, right? ABC, WXY, WXYXZ. They're all flavors of 3. So here we have 1, 2, 3. Expect that third wave and expect it at that level again between 115 116. That is the last move. In that move, that Bitcoin goes from where it's currently at, around 107, to a high of around 116. That's like an 8-9% move. Expect altcoins to do their thing. All right, and I've talked about this. This has been my thesis on this channel for quite some time. Altcoins need to get out of the way, because what you're going to see here, and let me turn this on now. Yeah, let me turn this on. What you're going to see is Bitcoin finalizing. Let me get this out of the way. Bitcoin's going to finalize its bear market. So I'm going to reveal Bitcoin, because on this channel what I do is I give you Bitcoin analysis. I never hold back any Bitcoin analysis. You can ask my clients. I post all kinds of altcoin analyses on my Buy Me a Coffee page for my members, and I seldom talk about altcoins here other than the others chart and other indicators, just general insights in the altcoin market. But for Bitcoin, I don't hold back and I tell you everything. And I've been telling you Bitcoin is bearish here. Bitcoin is ending its bear market here. Everybody's got it backwards. I'm going to say everybody because I'm going to generalize. And I've actually not heard many people say this. Bitcoin's been in a bear market. It's been in a bear market for a long time. People just don't know what a bear market is, and they think anything up and to the right is a bull market. But it's actually been in a bear market, and it's going to end its bear market with this move. And the first impulse, or the first phase, the first movement of that bear market capitulation, right? Which is exactly what you expect prior to a proper bull market. Look at Bitcoin's chart over time. Every time, it's not just Bitcoin, because let me not be a crypto bro and say, oh, it's just Bitcoin analysis. This is technical analysis 101. Before a proper bull market, you expect a bearish capitulation or a deleveraging event. Exactly what you saw in the altcoin space for many altcoins, right? A deleveraging event. And what does that mean? Technically, it is that final wave. So when you're looking at a corrective pattern, we just said they come in flavors of 3, right? A, B, C, WXY, WXYXZ. That final wave is always impulsive. And that's exactly what you got in the altcoins. And this is exactly what you're going to get in Bitcoin here. Boom! That is going to be the move. And it's going to come in 5 waves, just like any impulse comes. And that is going to be the first wave down to 90K. Okay, so before that is initiated, expect the altcoins that just had their deleveraging event expect them to start their bull market. That's the start of the bull market. Altcoins are leading the way. Everybody thinks based off of, group think and non-critical thought and just following sheepishly and not actually looking at data, that Bitcoin always leads the charge, always leads every bull market. That's wrong. Look at what's happening. Bitcoin is in the end of its bear market. It hasn't even finished its bear market, whereas many altcoins just ended theirs on October 10th. That's what happened. That's why it's bullish. That's why what you saw on October 10th wasn't a bad thing. And since then, the price action has proven that, yes, that was indeed a bearish, or sorry, a deleveraging event, a capitulative, sort of finality of a corrective sequence, a long drawn corrective sequence. So that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. I'm seeing us go back to 116K and then coming back down to 90K. I did not see us coming first down. I said the same thing last episode, but I didn't see the move down to 103, 104, but I'm still seeing us go up to 116K. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. That's my analysis for that. Now, it is right now more important and more interesting to talk about assets that are going into their bull markets. Okay, and a lot of people have all these ideas as to how things work and what is going to move and how they're going to move and all that stuff. It's in the charts. It's in the charts. This chart is unquestionably indicative of whether or not alt season happens, whether or not the crypto bull market starts with altcoins. All that is here if you know how to read it. There's no confusion. There's no mistake. This tells you everything. You can't kind of hedge on this. People love hedging. Say, I don't know, could be. No, you can hedge as to if you read it right. But if this goes down, by definition, it means altcoins are beating the hell out of Bitcoin. It means alt season is here. It means exactly what I said. Altcoins are leading the way in the bull market and should be expected to continue that for a long time. All right, let's go back on the big time frame, because I don't know if people really understand. They think I'm just making stuff up, or like this is maybe could go this could way. No, it's not that, and it's not that difficult. What's difficult is telling you exactly the moment when this will happen, exactly how it'll play out. But on a high time frame, it's really not that complicated. On a high time frame, you're dealing here with the Bitcoin dominance chart. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Bitcoin dominance, when it goes down, that means basically altcoins are beating Bitcoin. When it goes up, it means the opposite. Bitcoin's beating altcoins. The former typically indicates what we call alt season, right? Where there's a bull market and altcoins are beating out Bitcoin. The latter means the opposite, and it's typically a bear market. When Bitcoin's beating out altcoins, Bitcoin thinks they're going down and altcoins die. That kind of dynamic, okay? Now, if you look at this chart and do your own research, and I really, really encourage you guys to do your own research. There's so much ignorance in our space, so much groupthink, so many people turning on YouTube. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, including what you see on this channel. Do your own research. I really encourage you. You have TradingView. There's a free tier. You can access these charts and do your own research. This right here is showing you since basically May of 21, you've been going sideways and up in Bitcoin dominance. Basically since May of 21, after that mini bull run in Bitcoin and a proper bull run in certain altcoins, Bitcoin's been beating out altcoins since May of 21. That's around 1,600 days. That's approximately 4.5 years, I think, something like that. All right? And that's been true. The end of this uptrend is characterized by what we call an ending diagonal. Okay, that is a a fancy feature in Elliott wave analysis. It doesn't really matter. What's important is it is a channel, and channels are simple. Channels, they break down from the top, and if they do, if they're about to break down, they retest the midline and then break the channel, okay? And what do you see here? You see exactly that. This channel went from the top, it's an 850-day channel, mind you, all the way down, broke the channel, hit the midline, treated the midline as resistance, and now is in the process of breaking the channel down. After that, you get a subsequent retest of the bottom, just like you retested the midline, the point of control. You retest the bottom of the channel as resistance, and then you break down. So when I'm saying this, if you happen to see altcoins have a good weekend or have a great Monday, and I mean really great, I'm talking about double, triple digits across the board, like a sea of green. Don't think that it's a one-off. It can't be a one-off if you understand this chart, this single chart. I'm not asking you to look and pull up a million different indicators. People love a surfeit of data. Just get a few good pieces of data that are reliable as hell and figure out how to read them. Right here is unimpeachably convincing that this alt season that we've been talking about, that's in the room, this, cryptocurrency bull market, it's here. Because this right here is a swing failure pattern. And yes, there's a bunch of daily candles here going sideways and messing about. But eventually, you know what happens with a high degree of probability? This breaks out. And when this happens, this is done. This is what you'll see in the watch list. You'll see triple digit green, maybe over the course of 1, 2, 3 days max. It's not going to take long. That's going to puke. And then once it gets here, you're going to see everything dump. But a large portion of altcoins are not going back low. They're going to do something like this. They're going to go up, down a little bit, retrace 62%, and then go up some more when this happens. Do you see what I mean? Not every altcoin, but a lot of altcoins. That's going to be the beginning. In the same time, Bitcoin's going to be going down. Or sorry, Bitcoin's going sorry. Bitcoin's going to be going up, but only a little bit. And then it's going to go down to 90K, go down a lot a bit. Altcoins, even the ones that pumped, are going to go down a lot a bit. But again, they're not going to make lower lows. And then Bitcoin's going to go up a little bit, and then altcoins are going to fly some more. It's going to be reversed. Reverse of what you think Bitcoin season is. It's going to be alt season, where altcoins beat out Bitcoin in terms of market cap. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down, altcoins go down just as much or a little less. Bitcoin goes up, altcoins fly. It's the opposite. It's not always Bitcoin season. I know the maxis will have you believe that is a constant state of affairs. But again, a lot of these analysts, their time frames are like 1 to 2 years. And that's all they've ever seen, and that's all they ever look at. They haven't looked at a chart beyond 3 years worth of data, and that's all they look at. And so for them, that they only know Bitcoin season. Understand there are alternating cycles, alternating themes, alternating market environments in every single market. It's not always a bull market. It's not always a bear market. It's not always a consolidating market. The cycle is, in short, this. Usually you come online, an asset is introduced to market participants. They decide the value in a long drawn out channel of consolidation. Then when it's decided that people think there's some value to that, it goes up. After it's finished going up, it goes sideways once more. And then when they decide the value of it, if it's overvalued, then it goes down. And then repeat. That's the market cycle. It's called a cycle for a reason. It means after a while, it changes. Now, understand, crypto has been trading for 12 years max. These cycles can last decades at a time, right? This can last 10 years. This can last 10 years. This can last 10 years. Do you understand? Please gain some perspective. I'm begging you. Your 5-minute chart analysis means nothing other than for scalping positions. But as far as high time frame cogent analysis, it means absolutely nothing. You have no perspective if you've never zoomed out on the weekly or even acquired a life cycle chart of any asset that you claim to trade. Okay? So here on the small time frames, you can see Bitcoin dominance looks good. Small time frame analysis, I'm very, very, very encouraged by the fact that, remember I said trend, counter trend, trend, counter trend. And we've been in this counter trend ever since the 12th, so for a week. This looks like it's breaking down. It looks like it's breaking down like this, right? So I'm liking what I'm seeing in Bitcoin dominance on the high time frame, on the small time frame. It looks like the 7-week counter trend that we've been in, the sideways, is finally breaking down, and we should go back to trending down. Again, if Bitcoin dominance trends down, that's it. We see exactly what we've been tracking for years on this channel, which is the disbelief rally, the initial rally that sparks or that initiates the bull market of 2025, 2026, and probably 2027. Last but not least, let's look at the other chart. I said, all right, remember, other chart is the best approximation for what altcoins are doing right now. And I'm going to reiterate this because it's so important. Just because I'm calling for alt season, just because I'm saying altcoins are going to usher in the cryptocurrency bull market of 2025. And yes, it's not the end of the bull market. It's the beginning of the bull market. Literally, people have it backwards. And no, Bitcoin isn't going into a bear market. It's ending a bear market. That's how bad the analysis is in the general state. People don't even know what a freaking cycle is. They literally don't know where we're at. Forget telling you what's going on the small time frames. They literally can't tell you on a Nicolas, s'il te plaît. They literally can't tell you if you're in a bull market or in a bear market or in a consolidation. That is concerning. Do your own research. I promise you, do your own research. If you're watching analysis and they literally can't tell you when zooming out on the weekly time frame and looking at years worth of price action, whether it's a bull market or a bear market or consolidation, they literally can't tell you that. What the hell are you watching? And it's shame on you for not knowing that they have misidentified an entire market cycle. Shame on you. Do your own research. It's not that difficult. There's so much data. There's so many resources. Pull up Investopedia. Pull up anything. Any primer on Wyckoff. Primer on Elliott Wave. Primer on support and resistance. Look at the fucking charts yourselves. Please. Please. Alright. Enough. Rant over. I'm looking at altcoins on this other chart, and I'm not going to explain why the other chart's the best approximation for altcoins right now. But again, remember, not all altcoins are going to initiate this bull run. Some altcoins are finishing their bear market, kind of like Bitcoin, so they're expected to go down before making their move up. Other altcoins have already made that capitulative final move and are ready to go up, and they're gonna continue to go up for approximately, a couple years, a few years, whatever, and make, continuous impulsive moves to the upside, only retracing 62% of the previous move down. That's true. Now, I want you to understand in so many ways, this other chart is telling you exactly what I'm telling you. If you see it on the weekly time frame, you can see 2021, we peaked in May, right there. That was the end of the last alt season, okay? 2021. And it's not that everything moved, okay? I say it's the last alt season because according to this chart, yes, altcoins moved in a big way during that time. But to be honest, when you look at the crypto bull market, 2021 wasn't a proper bull market. The last one was in 2015, right? Just keep this in mind. In 2021, May of 2021, the end of alt season happened because in 2020, a few altcoins had a proper bull market. Proper bull market. So don't get confused. But that pretty much, what I'm trying to tell you is this. Different assets have different cycles. Not everything moves all at once. There are certain alt seasons that some assets participate in and others don't. There are certain crypto bull markets that some assets participate in and others don't. Understand that. It's not that hard to understand, right? It's not everything goes all at once, all the time, and Ethereum always does. No. Stop it. Please. It's not that subtle, right? So, May of 2021, you can see a top there. Ever since then, you say ABC correction, down, sideways, up, sideways, done. This is the end of all of the correction. Bear markets consist of two phases, a down phase and a sideways phase. Even though you made a higher low here, this is all the sideways phase. This is the down phase right here. All this is the down phase of the bear market, and this is all the sideways phase of the bear market. All right. If you look at the, remember I showed you the market cycles like this, boom, 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 like this right here, all downwards. This all sideways. Okay. Now, the other thing I want you to look at for my pattern traders who have an eye for patterns, you should be able to see a very nice bullish reversal pattern here. How can you say this is the beginning of the bear market when you're fucking looking at an inverse head and shoulders on the weekly time frame? Like, check your eyes. What comes next? It's really simple. You're right now, altcoins are looking beautiful. Right, and I say altcoins generally, the bullish altcoins, obviously. And they're going to hit this target next. Very simply. If you just do a cursory, just simple pattern analysis, it's going to be like this. All right? It's going to be the inverse head and shoulder height superimposed from the side of breakout. Right, so let's get our neckline, which is gonna be approximated around here, and then we're gonna take the height of this inverse head and shoulders, and then superimpose it from the side of breakout. Ooh, look, I didn't do that. I didn't get my target doing this pattern analysis, but that is confluence. I got my target using fibs. I got my target up here at 1.5 trillion using fibs and basically using the fact that this right here that we've been in, this right here that we've been in for the past 500 days, this right shoulder, right, has a clear midline. And that midline, if it's channeled, right, this is a nice channel, this right shoulder is a nice channel, from the bottom of October 10th going up, we have to retrace back onto that midline because that's the point of control. That's the fair market value of altcoins for the past 500 days. That has to be retested as support. That's how I got my target. But you can see that target is confluent with the same inverse head and shoulders target. That's what I'm saying. Like, technical analysis, you don't have to learn a bunch of fancy things. Some analysts are excellent only knowing rudimentary pattern analysis and respecting support and resistance, and they're making good money. They're doing well, and they can read on a high time frame, small time frame. That's it. That's all you need. support and resistance, right? This is, yes, resistance, but again, you've come down from that level of resistance, and that's where you break resistance. You never break resistance at resistance. You have to pull back a bit, then break through, and then retest previous resistance as new support. So that's hopefully helpful. That's my analysis for today. Hope it wasn't too ranty and bitchy, but that's how I feel right now, so whatever. Hope it was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider joining my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, where you can trade up to 5 altcoins with me that we're tracking and identifying local high probability levels of support and resistance, so that you can snowball your profits. But even more importantly, what I do initially with every single member is we audit your portfolio to make sure you're including only those assets that are prepared to take part in this bull market. Like I said, not every altcoin is going to take part in the bull market or in the alt season that is beginning right now, right? Not everyone's going to take part in it, and some are just a move away. So they're going to take part, but not quite yet. So we can analyze that with a high degree of probability just looking at the chart. And so I help you identify those assets to get in and then trade, based on, the next level of resistance and support, all that stuff. So that's crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation. You can sign up to that at the pinned comment below. Last but not least, I have single asset analysis service, where basically, if you're concerned or curious as to what a certain asset is doing, only one, and what a certain indicator is doing, how to read it, that's the single asset analysis. You don't have to sign up for the whole, audit of, your portfolio and do the whole, 2-hour meeting thing every month. It's just one quick pre-recorded analysis that I send you after receiving payment, and I send you that within 24 hours, and you can ask follow-up questions. So that single asset analysis, instructions for how to order that are also in the pinned comment below. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, and good luck. Take care. Bye.
My prevalent time slot, I vocalize, too deep to localize, even when I'm right on the surface. You act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi. I'll catch you later.
Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest magnanimous. We body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin. Should I smile or should I grin what's happening? Gone like the wind.